Hey, welcome to Violent Cinema Review. I'm Christian,
I'm Goblin.
and we're here to review the movie Chaos A.D.
From 2016, written and directed by Chris Woods. It's about a group of people on Halloween night getting kidnapped by a weird cult, like inbred, fucking feral, I don't know, lesbian group. There's Bob Glazier's dicks out in the movie, so you know it's going to be a good time from Sleaze Box. So, but yeah, they kind of play these games and murder and torture, and you turn out that all the victims aren't as innocent as they seem. So,
Yeah,
let's get into it. Think
yeah,
for blood and violence level was good. Of course, it's Sleaze Box, so there's a bunch of nudity, but it
a
was
lot of
also
nudity.
looking really good.
Lots of penis, lots of nudity, lots of ball ripping off,
Lots of
exploding
good
tits.
dialogue.
You pretty much got it all almost in this film.
Like if you're looking
Except
for a
for
Sleaze Box
except for
movie,
backstory. That's about the only thing I'd say it's missing. I'm like, why are these people this way? Why are they
yeah,
angry lesbians killing?
and like I said, like I'm pretty sure like one of the murderers is just a fucking feral person. I think one's like feral and the other one's like an inbred hillbilly, but it works.
I mean, yeah, it's just definitely one of those things you're like, okay, I guess he's this, and oh, okay, and then you just have to kind of just follow along. But
You
it's
piece it
kind of,
together.
yeah, you piece it together for sure. But it's kind of meant to be that way because it's schlocky, it's B-rated, it's low budget. But for being low budget, I think with the way that it's lit and everything, it definitely ups the value a little bit. Which is something that's kind of a trademark that they've kind of done in a lot of their things. They kind of will add like a lot of red on this side and blue on this side and some blue or whatever, and just kind of give like a lot of good color schemes to it, like add like filters that are raw, not like something you just add post.
Yeah, it definitely looked a lot better, I think, because of the lights. Because as we were saying, like the setting and all of that, like it looked really good. It looked like realistic, but I do feel like the lights helped that. Whereas if they were just, fluorescent or your typical white lights, it would look a lot more low
More
budget,
like
but
a
it really
made
kind
for
of
TV movie,
kind of,
than
yeah.
an indie art film or indie gore film. It's sleazy, it's good, it's cheesy, you see titties.
And I do want to
What
bring
more
up
you need?
I do want to bring up my favorite line where they're talking about how the killings in these videos that are released to the internet by this crazy cult group have to be real unless the special effects were done by the talented Marcus Cooch. And
Oh
so
yeah.
I think that was a nice touch. When I was first watching it, they said that I was like, did I fucking hear that right? I love those
So it's
little
Martin
nods.
Cooch or Martin Cock? I mean, which one is it? How do you say your last name? I would say the gore effects were surprisingly really good. The guts were, not too cheesy looking. They looked like they were probably made by them, like they made them, and kind of added a lot to it. Um, Blood fucking everywhere, and it looked good though too. It didn't. It wasn't. It had a good consistency in the color. It didn't look too like it looked like they added a bit to it to kind of give it like more of a chunky or more of like a textured feel to a lot of it, which I think added a lot. And it turned out really
Yeah,
well, especially with the extra lighting and everything and hitting it, and it looked really cool.
yeah, because my problem with a lot of like independent horror films is like the blood is always super runny and it's like basically fucking neon red. But like this was like
Hmm.
a nice thick like dark blood that looked really good, especially with the
Hmm.
colors and the lightings that they were playing with. It
Hmm.
really it didn't drown out the blood having those colors, but it also like didn't make it seem neon.
I mean, I would say like the only thing that maybe could have like upped it a little bit more is if they paid attention more on the sound effects of being a little bit so instead of sounding just like a cheesy 80s
Not me.
90s
I love
whatever,
the sound
but
effects.
at the same
I think it
time
worked so
we were
well.
talking about it kind of ends up working for it because it does kind of match it. It's like watching, if you're watching like a 80s or 90s kung fu film, like you kind of expect the
Or like even
cheesy
like a
punches
70s
and stuff.
Shaw Brothers movie where it's like, no, like if you
Yeah.
don't have those noises, like it,
Yeah, no, Shaw Brothers are definitely the ones that you would, if you don't hear that random, over the top punch effects, then it just doesn't really, it just adds to the film for sure.
Yeah. But this definitely, like, knowing some of Sleaze Box's other work, it definitely is a Sleaze Box film. Like, you can tell Chris Woods and is definitely behind this one, just like American Holocaust.
The character shout out and the American Holocaust character with the
Yes,
beard was great.
there was a fucking part where they're having a Halloween party and a dude walks in with the American Holocaust shirt, and it's like definitely a Bob Glazer mask from American Holocaust. So like that was a great touch, a
No,
little shout out.
no.
I like that.
And especially that he was in it. Yeah.
Yeah, it comes in with like the butcher knife.
Yeah, I recommend American Holocaust if you want to check out another Sleaze.
Definitely, because that was the first Sleaze Box movie I saw. But they also did Death's Court Service and a few other ones. I know they have like an anthology. They released quite a bit of Phil Herman stuff. So if you're also
Mm-hmm.
into that, so be they're a good company to check out.
Yeah, Phil Hartman in general. Phil Hartman has some good stuff.
Yeah.
Jacker and Jack, you know more about all the stuff he does, but
Please do an interview with us.
And
we'll
then,
review any film you want us to if you just do an interview.
Write me a script. What you want me to say about Jacker, and I will fucking do it.
so rounding out the cast, besides this weird cult group that we talked about, is your main cast of victims, which are a woman who you find out, or a woman who murders her husband, and then you find out he was incredibly abusive towards her. A gross, disgusting politician who like literally is watching his ad on TV as he's fucking prostitutes in a hotel. And then this brother and sister who you don't really know a lot about. They just come from an abusive household. But the kind of thing with this movie is that everyone has like a dirty little secret that you find out as it goes.
Mm-hmm.
But it also has this nice scene once you're introduced to the characters and their turmoil where the politician is like fucking a prostitute on the bed and is like enjoying it at the same time as this like brother sister duo. The brother gets the shit kicked out of him, or punch kicked according to the sound effects. Punch kicked by the abusive father, and then the dad like ends up sexually assaulting the sister in the bedroom, and like they're cutting back and forth between like her being sexually assaulted and this politician like rolling around this prostitute. And especially that's where they kind of filtered it with the red filter when the sister is getting abused by the father. It's just a weird like balance kind of, and the whole movie kind of does that, where it's like it's disgusting for one side but it's pleasure for another, where this cult is enjoying the pain they're causing, or the deeds that they're doing, well, whereas like the victims are the ones like suffering this hand. And it kind of shows that at the beginning before you get to the Halloween party, to really introduce and round out your characters of victims.
Yeah, there's definitely an arrayment of different characters in the cast. There's kind of like that big person they bring out, like bring out the amp, kind
Yeah,
of situation.
definitely the world heavyweight champion of the Freaks group. So this cult group that is ran by Bytch, spelled with a Y, not an I, and is, the weird group that we talked about. They go by the name Freak, stands for fucking reckless extreme asshole killers. Which, if we're referencing to the spiked dildo scene, they are asshole killers.
Rip the nuts off.
But yeah, so apparently they're this company called, or this group called Freak, and they're murdering and butchering people, and that's what it stands for, and that's why we're here.
Extreme feminists that just want to fuck.
And then get barbed wire wrapped around their cocks and ripped off.
But that's the basic breakdown of all the cast. We don't really want to get too much into everything towards the end. It's definitely one that you're gonna have to watch and get into. It's definitely worth a watch. It's I think probably like top 3 out of the whole Sleaze Box collection for sure. At least out of what I've seen so far.
Yeah, it's definitely up there for me too. I honestly haven't seen a lot of Sleaze Box, but American Holocaust is still my favorite just because the time and place I saw it and what it meant to me and getting into, extreme horror at the time. But yeah, no, this is definitely up there. It's a good time, and you definitely want to wait for the twist at the end because it's fun.
Hmm. Well, until then, keep it sleazy.
Keep it cheesy.
Yeah, keep it sleazy, keep it cheesy.
And eat your vitamins and say your prayers.
You're gonna need them.
Okay.
Now, thank you for tuning in to Violent Cinema Review. We're gonna be doing more of these, and just keep it up. And hit us up in the comments on these, and let us know what do you want us to review, or any recommendations or anything like that. Let's try to get the community going with comments. I know everyone's been shy and timid these days, but let's try to make some comments. Subscribe, like, all that bullshit that no one likes to do, but yet it's important.
give us a thumbs up so I can actually buy a real coffee mug. So for Quality Violent Cinema, I'm Goblin,
And I'm Christian.
and we will see
You later.
deuces.